1, 2, sound check, testing sound. Wonderful. Bandigi Sahib, Namaskar everyone. Everyone, you are requested to take your seats. We are just about to start this evening's program. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all stand for opening prayer, and this will be followed by the national anthems of Trinidad and Tobago and Bharat. Sababidi mudamangala karanam hadanayashe shakalesh satyanam samanam nahi Vadadayik Vadadesh Guru ke sumiran mantra se Nashat viganayanan Tasi sarvaramba me Dhyavat hi sabasant Tasi sarvaramba me Dhyavat hi sabasant Sahib bandagi, Sahib bandagi Sahib bandagi.
Forth from the love of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा। तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाये तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Brothers and sisters, we will now have the ceremonial lighting of the diya, and this will be done by the president of the Sache Kabir Nidhi, assisted by Mahant Jai Paramahansa Jagesa of the Kabir Association of Toronto. Request now Prem Sahib to do the official lighting of the ceremonial lamp. हम वासी वह देश के आदि पुरुष के केल दीपक दे का गैब का बिन बाती बिन तेल। आदि अंत एक ज्योति है स्थिर स्थिर नीर। सात द्वीप नवकंद में एक ही सत्य कबीर। सात द्वीप नवकंद में एक ही साथ कबीर। साहिब बंदगी साहिब बंदगी। The Duha says, I am a resident of that country in which there is the drama of the Supreme One. I have seen the light of the Supreme, on which glows continuously without wick or oil. From the beginning to end, Sahib Kabir is the one and the only one light, whose reflection is also in the waters of the ocean. He is the light of the seven worlds. Panth Sri Hajur 1008 Ardhnaam Sahib, 5th Acharya, Kabir Dharmsthan, Karasya, North India. Ms. Ramya Ajay, Director of the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation. Mahant Jai Paramahansa Jagesa, Head of the Kabir Association of Toronto. Sant Santosh Kumarji, Satguru Kabir Prakatya Dham, Lartara, Varanasi, India. Sri Surajdev Mongro, National Council for Indian Culture. Shri Haripasad Maharaj, representative from the Raj Yoga Center. Sri Tensing Ramlakan, Bharatiya Vidya Sansthan. Dr. Vijay Narayan Singh and Sister Ceremonial and Gita Vahini of the Hindu Prachar Kendra. Members of the Gandhi Seva Sangh of Trinidad and Tobago. Okay. Members of the Gandhi Seva Sangh, Trinidad and Tobago, members of the Blue Star Foundation, representatives from the Science of Spirituality Organization, Trinidad and Tobago, Shri Dinesh Das, the Kabir Panth Association, Mahants and members of the Satya Kabir Nidhi, Ramdas Ashram, Updesh Ashram, and Lotus Ashram. Also, members of the representative from the Indian High Commission, Sri Azad Singh, Head of Chancery, Indian High Commission, Sri Shiv Kumar Nigam, Second Secretary, Hindi Education, Culture of the Indian High Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, Bandigi Sahib, Namaskar, Assalamu alaikum, and a pleasant good evening to each and every one of you. My name is Parishuram Duki, also known as Kumar Sahib in the Kabir Panth fraternity. It is my pleasure and delight on behalf of the Satya Kabir Nidhi. Who is this?
Raju Sharma, High Charge DFS, Commissioner High. Yeah.
Okay, we recognize also Mr. Raju Sharma, charged the affairs of the High Commission of India. So it is my pleasure and delight on behalf of the Satya Kabir Nidhi and MGICC, Mahatma Gandhi, and the Institute for Cultural Cooperation to welcome each and every one of you to this special program being held in commemoration of the visit of Panth Shri Hajur 1008 Ardhnaam Sahib to Trinidad and Tobago. His Holiness Panth Shri Hajur 1008 Ardhnaam Sahib is the fifth Nad Vansh Acharya of the Kabir Dharm Sthan Kharsya, Chhattisgarh, North India, and Satguru Kabir Prakatya Dham, Kabir Bhag, Dhartara, Varanasi, India. At the age of 12, His Holiness received Guru Diksha from Panth Shri Hajur Ardhnaam Sahib, who also visited Trinidad in 1975. After being ordained, Panth Shri Hajur 1008 Ardhnaam Sahib has spent most of his life in Varanasi, the holy banks of the Ganges in North India. He was educated as a Sanskrit scholar at the Banaras Hindu University and the most famous university in Varanasi, India. His schedule comprises travel across India spreading the teachings of Satguru Kabir Sahib, ordaining Mahants at many Kabir ashrams all over the world, and meeting many disciples, supporters, researchers, and enthusiasts. His message is a simple one that guides people on the path of seeking truth, spreading peace and harmony. This evening's program was planned by the Satya Kabir Nidhi in collaboration with the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation and commemorates the sixth visit of Panth Shri 1008 Hajur Ardhnaam Sahib to Trinidad and Tobago. Through the great fortune of this visit, we are in many ways reaping the rewards of tremendous sacrifice and foresight that our forefathers engendered following their arrival here 177 years ago. Brothers and sisters, we are at a point of awakening in this country to the fact that these saintly visits are really and truly powerful and lasting blessings of our forefathers who are blessed with a vision to bring with them the timeless wisdom of Santa Samrat Param Purush Sadguru Kabir Sahib on their treacherous journey through the Kalapani, and thereafter established a strong foundation upon which the Kabir Panth could be built here in Trinidad and Tobago. Panchi Hajur Ardhnaam Sahib, through his indefatigable efforts in creating a Satguru Kabir resurgence, a renaissance sort of, globally, through many of his programs that is taking the bhakti movement and sadhana to new heights, based on the testimonies of both new ashrams and established ones. His presence here in Trinidad has certainly changed the approach to sadhana. He has indeed changed the atmosphere in the Kabir Panth fraternity. Brothers and sisters, following the miraculous appearance of Sadguru Kabir Sahib 624 years ago, his teaching is still relevant today as it was then. There is a doha that says, Bhakta Prem Aru Santahit Pragat Manujatan Adhar Sukrita Nijat Janakarne Kari Lila Bistar. For the sake of the saints, as well as for the spiritual benefit of all, the Lord, taking the human form, descended. A laboratory cultural program with the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation, to which we will present the sublime and profound teachings and philosophy of Sadguru Kabir Sahib through the medium of Sadguru Kabir Sahib bhajans, sakis, dance depiction, and pravachan by Panth Shri Hajur 1008 Ardhnaam Sahib. I now introduce to you the Master of Ceremonies that will guide you through this evening's program. And they are members, very active members of the Satya Kabir Nidhi, and very active in the work, propagating the work of Sadguru Kabir Sahib here in Trinidad. They will be Mahant Dev Ramlal and Shamin Dukram. So we sincerely hope that you enjoy this evening's program, and may your lives be enriched by it, and may you all receive the bountiful grace and blessings by just merely being present here this evening. Sahib Bandagi Sahib. So at this point in time, I will now hand you over to our Master of Ceremonies, Dev Ramlal.
Bandagi Sahib. Thank you, Mahant Parsuram Duki, for such warm words of introduction. All protocols observed. And before starting our cultural program, I would like to offer my salutation. I bow to the lotus feet of the Guru, who is the fountain of love and compassion. Panth Shri Hajur 1008 Ardhnaam Sahib. All distinguished guests, Mahants, Sadhus, devotees, today we are fortunate to share in an evening in the company of His Grace, Panth Hajur Ardhnaam Sahib Ji. So before we proceed further, we would like to ask the children, Shriya, Jia, Payal, and Ashish to proceed with the garlanding of Panth Shri 1008 Hajur Ardhnaam Sahib. Thank you, children. And as we move along in terms of commencing our cultural program, our first item will be 2 bhajans from Sadhguru Kabir Sahib. The rendition of these bhajans will be done by a lecturer from the Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Cultural Cooperation, Dr. Sadanand Brahmbhatt, a devoted Hindustani classical vocalist and a performer, a teacher at Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation, Trinidad and Tobago. He is a disciple of the great exponent, late Pandit Gopal Lakshman Guniji, and presently receiving his further training from world-renowned vocalist Padma Shri Pandit Ulhas Kashalkarji. He finished his post-graduation and MPhil with distinction marks, followed by a PhD from Delhi University. He is a humble recipient of various honors and titles for his dedicated service to the goddess of music. Nad Sadak Saman, Pandit Nikal Banerjee Saman, Swami Hardas Saman, Ardesh Sangeet Guru Saman are some of the coveted titles received by Dr. Brahmbhatt. He will be singing 2 bhajans. The first bhajan is entitled Kaun Tagwa Nagariya Lutalahu, and the second is Tobiya Jal bin Marat Piyasa. He is accompanied on stage by Rana Mohibji and his son Ajnesh Mohibji, Arvind Bhatt, and Narendra Maharaj. Let's give them a warm and hearty welcome.
ठगवा नगरिया लूट चंदन काठ के बनल खटोलना, चंदन काठ के बनल खटोलना, तापर दुलहिना सूतल हो कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो, कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो, लूटल हो। उठोरी सखी मोरी मांग सवारो, उठोरी सखी, उठोरी सखी, उठो उठोरी सखी, उठो उठोरी सखी, उठोरी सखी मोरी मांग सवारो, दुल्हा मोह से रूठल हो, उठोरी सखी मोरी मांग सवारो, उठोरी सखी मोरी मांग सवारो, दुल्हा मोह से रूठल हो। आए यमराज पलंग चढ़ी बैठे, आए यमराज पलंग चढ़ी बैठे, नैनन असुआ, नैनन असुआ लूटल हो कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो, कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो। चंदन काठ के बनल खटोलना, चंदन काठ के बनल खटोलना, तापर दुलहिना, तापर दुलहिना, तापर दुलहिना सूतल हो कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो, कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो, लूटल हो। ठगवा 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 चार जने मिल खाट उठाइन, चार जने मिल खाट उठाइन, खाट उठाइन चार जने मिल, चार जने मिल खाट उठाइन, चार जने, चार जने मिल खाट उठाइन, चार जने मिल चार जने मिल खाट उठाइन, चार जने मिल खाट उठाइन, चाहु दिस धू धू उठल हो, चाहु दिस धू धू उठल हो, कहता कबीरा सुनो भाई साधो, कहता कबीरा सुनो भाई साधो, कहता कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, जग से नाता, जग से नाता टूटल हो कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो, कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो। चंदन काठ के बनल खटोलना, चंदन काठ के बनल खटोलना, तापर दुल्हना तापर दुल्हना सूतल हो। कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो, कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो। कौन ठगवा 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 हो, कौन ठगवा ठगवा लूटल हो। कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो। ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो, कौन ठगवा नगरिया ठगवा नगरिया ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो लूटल हो। जल बिच मरत प्यासा, धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा। धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा, जल बिच मरत प्यासा। धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा, धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा। जल में ठाड़ पिए नहीं मूरख, जल में ठाड़ पिए नहीं मूरख। अच्छा जल है खासा, अच्छा जल है खासा। अपने घर के मरम न जाने, अपने घर के मरम न जाने। करे धोबियन के आसा, जल बिच मरत प्यासा। धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा, जल बिच मरत प्यासा। जल बिच मरत प्यासा, धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा। छिन में धोबिया रोवे धोवे, छिन में धोबिया रोवे धोबे। छिन में धोबिया रोवे धोवे, छिन में हो उदासा। आपे बंधे आपे बंधे कर्म की रस्सी, पे बंधे कर्म की रस्सी आपन घर के फांसा आपन घर के फांसा जल बिच मरत प्यासा धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा जल बिच मरत प्यासा जल बिच मरत प्यासा सच्चा साबुन लेना मूरख साबुन लेना मूरख है संतन के पासा है संतन पदनि सनि द पद म प म ग सा ग म ध ध म रे रे म म सच्चा साबुन लेना मूरख है संतन के पासा दाग पुराना पदनि निधनि निध पद म पग दाग पुराना छूटत नाही दाग हे दाग दाग पुराना छूटत नाही दाग पुराना छूटत नाही धोवत 12 मासा धोवत 12 मासा जल बिच मरत प्यासा धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा जल बिच मरत प्यासा जल बिच मरत प्यासा जल बिच मरत प्यासा एक रात को जोर लगावे छोड़ दिए बरमासा कह कबीर सुनो भाई साधु कहता कबीर सुनो भाई साधु आछत अन्न उपासा धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा धोबिया जल बिच मरत प्यासा जल बिच जल बिच मरत पियासा जल बिच मरत पियासा जल बिच मरत पियासा धोबिया जल बिच मरत पिया
Thank you very much, Dr. Sananand and his wonderful group. We had enjoyed such an exhilarating performance to set the tone for the rest of this evening. Please, let us give them another hearty round of applause. Two songs that they sang of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib, Dhobiya Jal Bich Marat Pyasa. Standing in the water, in ignorance, he does not drink. Yet, the water is closer than he thinks. Not knowing the secret of his own home, he relies on others like himself. Sadhguru Kabir Sahib says, within him lies the water to quench his thirst. So these are very deep messages of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib, and we are so grateful that we have been able to listen to the enchanting voice of Dr. Sadanand. So our next item, we'll get right into it, will be presented by some young, talented kids who are fortunate to have parents who were also taught under the guidance of their guru, Shri Mahant Devchand Das Ji Sahib. He believed that involving the kids in activities such as these will help them learn and preserve the teachings of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib. So these children will be presenting some Sakhis of Kabir with the meaning. They are Shriya Ramrup, Ashish Ramnarayan, Payal Ramrup, and Jia Ramlal. So let us please put our hands together and welcome these children to present some Sakhis of Kabir.
Sahebandagi Sabakhat Meri Saya Suni Sej na koi Balihari wa Dasako Jakhat Parakhat hoi. My Lord dwells in every heart, and there is nowhere that he is not. Great is that disciple who discovers him within. Sahib Bandagi.
बंदगी साहिब साच बराबर तप नहीं झूठ बराबर पाप जाके हृदय साच है ताके हृदय आप. There is no austerity which is greater than truth, nor is there any sin which is greater than falsehood. In whose heart truth resides, there also God resides. Bandagi Sahib.
Sahib Bandagi. मेरा मुझ में कुछ नहीं, जो कुछ है सो तोर, तेरा तुझको सौंपते, क्या लागत है मोर. Lord, there is nothing in me which is mine, all is thine. Surrendering to you what is rightfully yours. Do I lose anything? Sahib Bandagi.
बंदगी साहिब ऊंचे पानी नाची के नीचे ही तहराए, नीचे होकर भर पिए ऊंच प्यासा जाए. Water does not settle on the mountain tops, it collects on the lowlands. He himself who is humble gets his fill from the waters of spirituality, whereas he who is haughty and proud forever goes thirsty. Bandagi Sahib.
So let's put our hands together again as we recognize children, the beautiful Sakis. Our next item will be a youth group item, and it is very important that we invest in today's youth. It is necessary in growing the teachings of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib. This nurtures and helps the youth to grow spiritually in the formative years and equip them to make an impact in their lives now and in the future. The next item will be led by Ankit Das, accompanied by the young adults of the Satya Kabir Nidhi, Pooja, Anuj, Sunil, Amrita, and Akshi. They will be doing a bhajan, and the gist of the bhajan is as follows. Within me, the all-embracing love dwells. I am already free in the universe. Not for a moment is my beloved separated from me, nor am I separated from him. Why should I now be attracted to the world, or of what should I be afraid? Sadhguru Kabir Sahib has changed the relationship of love in my heart from two to one. When such a bond continuously exists, what more do I need? So let's put our hands together and welcome the young adults and their presentation.
रहे मस्ताना खलक सब नाम अपने को बहुत कुछ सिर पटकते हैं खलक सब नाम अपने को बहुत कुछ सिर पटकते हैं अमन गुरु ज्ञान आलिम है अमन गुरु ज्ञान आलिम है अमन को नामधारी क्या अमन है इश्क मस्ताना अमन को होशियारी क्या रहे आज़ाद हम जग से 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 अमन दुनिया से यारी क्या अमन है इश्क मस्ताना कबीरा इश्क खाना था दूरी को दूध की दिल से कबीरा इश्क खाना था दूरी को दूध की दिल से ये चलना राह नाजुक है ये चलना राह नाजुक है अमन सिर बोझ भारी क्या अमन है इश्क मस्ताना अमन को होशियारी क्या रहे आज़ाद हम जग से 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 अमन दुनिया से यारी क्या अमन है इश्क मस्ताना मस्ताना अमन है इश्क मस्ताना
सतगुरु कबीर साहिब की जय
Indeed, what a wonderful performance by the youths. And you know, it is said, the youth of the nation is the future of the nation. So we want to thank them very much for presenting this wonderful bhajan, Hum Mana Hai Ishq. Again, a very deep bhajan. You know, it says, within me the all-embracing love dwells. So we are seeing this evening that everything is within us, you know. So without further ado, I want to introduce this next item. And this will be done by Mahant Jai Paramahansa Jagesa. We call him Jai Sahib fondly, and his wonderful wife, Rekha Ji. Mahant Jai Paramahansa Jagesa is the head of the Kabir Association of Toronto and has been tirelessly devoted to promoting and propagating the teachings of Sadguru Kabir Sahib, along with his devoted wife, Rekha Ji. We are so elated that they have joined us all the way from Toronto since Hajur Sahib has been with us. They will present a bhajan entitled Aunga Na Jaunga, and I am hoping Jai Sahib will give us a gist of this bhajan before he starts. So let us give them a hearty, warm welcome, Mahant Jai Sahib and Rekha Ji.
बोलिए सदगुरु कबीर साहेब की जय। पंच हजूर अर्धनाम साहेब की जय। जिस मरने से जग दरे मेरे मन आनंद, कब मरी हूँ कब पाए हूँ पूरन परमानंद। आऊंगा न जाऊंगा न मरूंगा न जीऊंगा, गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा। गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा।
ना जाऊंगा ना मरूंगा ना जीऊंगा, गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा। गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा।
आप कटोरा आप थारी,
आप कटोरा आप थाली।
आप कटोरा आप थारी,
आप कटोरा आप थाली।
आप पुरखा आप नारी।
आप पुरखा आप नारी। आऊंगा न जाऊंगा न मरूंगा न जीऊंगा, गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा। गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा।
आप सदा फल आप नींबू।
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 आप मुसलमान आप हिंदू।
आप मुसलमान आप हिंदू। आऊंगा न जाऊंगा न मरूंगा न जीऊंगा, गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा। गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा।
आप मच कच आप जाल।
आप मच कच आप जाल।
आप मच कच आप
आऊंगा न जाऊंगा ना मरूंगा ना जीऊंगा गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा
कहे कबीर
कहे कबीर
कहे कबीर हम नाही रे नाही
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 ना हम जीवत ना मुगले माही
जीवत नाम ले माही
आऊंगा न जाऊंगा न
मरूंगा ना जीऊंगा गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा
आऊंगा न जाऊंगा न मरूंगा न जीऊंगा गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा गुरु के शब्द में रमी रमी रहूंगा। बोलिए सद्गुरु कबीर साहेब की जय। पंच हजूर अर्धनाम साहेब की जय। धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Ji Sahib. Such a beautiful rendition of the bhajan. Our next item will be a dance, and this will be done by the Susan Mohib Dance Company. So Susan Mohib, a little bit about her, was born in Trinidad and Tobago and started dancing at the tender age of 3. With the immense support and guidance of her mother, she became Trinidad's leading creative Bollywood dancer. Baby Susan, as she is fondly called, became a name synonymous with dance. She has won many local competitions in Trinidad, including Mastana Bahar and the famous 12 and Under as a child. She received her initial training in Kathak dance from Shri Pradeep Shankar before leaving Trinidad in 1989 to further her studies at the Kathak Kendra in India. She later received an ICCR scholarship from the Government of India and completed her master's degree in Kathak dancing, securing first division. Susan also studied various folk dances of India and has studied Indian classical vocal. She is the artistic director of the Susan Mohib Dance Company. She had toured extensively and has performed for many local and visiting international dignitaries. She is an instructor of dance at the Academy of Performing Arts, University of the Trinidad and Tobago. So let us give her a warm and hearty welcome.
नाम धर्मी
ढूंढे बंदे मैं तो तेरे पास में ना मैं देवल ना मैं मस्जिद ना मैं देवल ना मैं मस्जिद ना काबे कैलाश में मुँह को कहाँ ढूंढे रे मुँह को कहाँ मुँह को कहाँ मुँह को कहाँ कहाँ कहाँ
ढूंढे बंदे मैं तो तेरे पास में मुँह को कहाँ ढूंढे बंदे
ना मैं बंधा ना मैं मुक्ता ना मैं बंधा ना मैं मुक्ता ना मैं बिरत न रंगी हो ना काहू से न्यारा हुआ ना काहू से न्यारा हुआ ना काहू के संगी हो ना मैं धर्मी ना ही अधर्मी ना मैं धर्मी ना ही अधर्मी ना
खोजी हो तो तुरंत मिली हो पल भर की तलाश में खोजी हो तो तुरंत मिली हो पल भर की तलाश में कह कबीर सुन भाई साधो कह कबीर सुन भाई साधो सब सांसों की सांस में मुँह को कहाँ ढूंढे बंदे मुँह को कहाँ ढूंढे रे बंदे मैं तो तेरे पास में मुँह को कहाँ ढूंढे बंदे मैं तो तेरे पास में मुँह को कहाँ ढूंढे बंदे मैं तो तेरे पास में मुँह को कहाँ ढूंढे बंदे मैं तो तेरे पास में मुँह को कहाँ ढूंढे बंदे मैं तो तेरे पास में
Thank you so much, Suzanne, for that wonderful, enlightening, and profound dance, depicting again another one of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib's bhajans, Mokho Kahan Dhunde Bande. Again, same theme, what everything lies within us. It is now my great honor and privilege to introduce the next item, which is the highlight of our program this evening. And without any further ado, I just want to say a few words before we welcome Hajur Sahib to the stage. Since Hajur Sahib's arrival on Wednesday, 31st August 2022, many devotees from all parts of the country have benefited from his darshan, inspiring and heartwarming messages, instructions, and comforting words, especially in these challenging times. This evening, the highlight of our program is to receive the nectar from his infinite well of Amrit. Since Hajur Sahib has come over the past 5 times, we have been encouraged, as he has been speaking a little bit of English more and more every time. And so we, too, are forced to speak a little bit of Hindi to encourage ourselves and to let him know that even though he is far away from home, he can still hear some of our maybe not so good Hindi. So I'll just say a few words. हजूर साहिब, यहाँ हमारा बड़ा सौभाग्य है कि दुनिया भर में कोविड-19 की वैश्विक चुनौतियों के बावजूद आप हमारे साथ रहने के लिए अपनी मातृभूमि से इतनी दूर ट्रिनिडाद और टोबैगो आए हैं। हम वास्तव में अपने आप को बहुत भाग्यशाली मानते हैं और आपकी उपस्थिति में आभारी हैं। यहाँ होने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। कृपया मंच पर आए और हमारे खाली प्यालों को अमृत से भर दें। At this time, we ask our President, Mahant Keet Premdas, to escort Panth Shri Hajur Ardhnaam Sahib to the stage to give us his pravachan this evening. Please let us all stand to welcome Hajur Sahib. Okay, please take your seats.
बंदगी साहिब, ध्यान मूलम गुरुर्मूर्ति, पूजा मूलम गुरुपदम, मंत्र मूलम गुरुर्वाक्यम, मोक्ष मूलम गुरु कृपा। इस संध्याकालीन सत्र और मंगलमय अवसर महात्मा गांधी सांस्कृतिक सहयोग संस्थान के ये विशिष्ट हाल में बैठकर आज इस विशेष प्रोग्राम का आप सब लाभ ले रहे हैं। इस अवसर पर ट्रिनिडाद टोबैगो के अति विशिष्ट अतिथिगण जो यहाँ आए हैं, संगीत से आप सबको मंत्र मुग्ध कर देने वाले संगीत कलाकार जिनका मधुरमय आवाज आपने श्रवण किया। ट्रिनिडाद टोबैगो कबीर पंथ के विशेष महंत साहेब जो यहाँ उपस्थित हैं, केपी स्कूल के प्रेसिडेंट, अनेक साहेब के फॉलोअर्स जो बड़े श्रद्धा और भाव से यहाँ आमंत्रित हैं। इस आयोजन को आयोजित करने वाले सत्य कबीर निधि के विशेष महान साहेब, प्रतिनिधिगण और सभी आप जिज्ञासुजन, मैं विशेष रूप से आपके पूर्वजों की भूमि भारत से आया हूँ और ये छठी बार इस भूमि में मुझे आने का अवसर मिला। आज विशेष रूप से हम ट्रिनिडाड वासी और भारतवासी लगभग दोनों देश के लोग ये अनुभव करते हैं कि हम एक ऐसी यात्रा में हैं जहां हमें देश निर्माण, विश्व बंधुत्व, भाईचारे और प्रेम की ज़रूरत है। इसलिए इस अवसर पर ट्रिनिडाड टोबैगो निवासी आप सबको इस देश के 60वें इंडिपेंडेंस डे की ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं और यूट्यूब के माध्यम से भारत में भी इसको देख रहे भारतवासियों को 75वें इंडिपेंडेंस डे, स्वतंत्रता दिवस की ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। महात्मा गांधी सांस्कृतिक सहयोग संस्थान का यह पवित्र प्रांगण हम कबीर साहब को और उनके कुछ उपदेशों को आपके बीच रखेंगे। सद्गुरु कबीर साहब 600 साल पहले भारत भूमि में अवतरित हुए आए। वो समय ऐसा समय था जब विचार, धर्म और अनेक प्रकार की विसंगतियां समाज में रही और उस समय सद्गुरु कबीर साहब की जो उपदेश और वाणियाँ थी वो इतनी ताकतवर थी कि उस ताकतवर वाणी और उपदेश से उस माहौल को, उस वातावरण को कैसे दिशा दी जा सकती थी, कैसे रास्ता बताया जा सकता था। साहिब की वाणी उस रूप में प्रासंगिक रही। उन्हीं वाणियों को, उन्हीं उपदेशों को आज भी पूरी दुनिया में, पूरे विश्व में किसी भी लैंग्वेज में हो, उसके मूल्य को हटाया नहीं जा सकता, उसको कम नहीं किया जा सकता, क्योंकि वो मानव के मनुष्यता का मूल्य है उनकी वाणियों में। ऐसे ही महात्मा गांधी, जिनकी स्मृति में यह संस्थान बना है, सद्गुरु कबीर साहब उस काल में 600 साल पहले जिस समाज को देख रहे थे, अनुभव कर रहे थे, लोगों के व्यवहार को, लोगों के वर्चस्व को और लोगों के द्वारा जो समाज के लिए किया जा रहा था, सबको सद्गुरु कबीर साहब बारीकी से देखते थे। ऐसे ही जब महात्मा गांधी स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की भारत की उस विषम परिस्थिति में, गांधी जी हमारे देश के ऐसे पुरोधा थे जिन्होंने बड़े आत्मबल के साथ कुछ ऐसे संदेश उस समय लोगों को दिए जिसकी ताकत आज भी समाज महसूस करता है। वो है सत्य और अहिंसा। 600 साल पहले सदगुरु कबीर साहब ने भी यही संदेश दिया था, सत्य और अहिंसा का। सत्य क्या है? सत्य न पर्सनल रूप से मेरा है, न सत्य पर्सनल रूप से आपका है। सत्य सबका है और उस सत्य को सबको जानने का हक है, सबको जीने का हक है और सबको कहने का हक है। लेकिन ऐसे समाज निर्मित हो जाता है कि सत्य को कहा जाए तो सुनना मुश्किल होता है। इसलिए सदगुरु कबीर साहब कहते, साच कहे जग मारन धावे, झूठे जग पति आई। सत्य यदि कह दो तो झगड़ा शुरू हो जाता है, लड़ाइयां शुरू हो जाती। लेकिन सत्य को न कहा जाए, ऐसा उन वीरों के पास ऐसा खून नहीं था कि वो सत्य न कहे। ऐसा डरकर जीने वाले सदगुरु कबीर साहब नहीं थे। लोग कुछ भी कहे लेकिन वो सत्य को कहने वाले थे। और इसीलिए आज भी साहेब कबीर को सुनना, साहेब कबीर को समझना, ये सबके बस की बात नहीं है। उसके लिए बहुत ताकत चाहिए, बहुत निडरता चाहिए और बहुत सत्य को स्वीकार करने की ताकत चाहिए। तब आप कबीर साहब को सुन सकते हैं। और कबीर साहब को सुनने के साथ साथ, कबीर साहब को जानने के साथ साथ आपकी दिशा बदलेगी ही बदलेगी। और जिसकी दिशा बदलती है उसी की दशा बदलती है। जिसकी दिशा नहीं बदलती उसकी कभी दशा नहीं बदल सकती। और सदगुरु कबीर साहब का जो संदेश सत्य और अहिंसा, पीछे आकर महात्मा गांधी को बहुत प्रभावित किया। पोरबंदर में महात्मा गांधी का जन्म हुआ था। लोग कहते हैं कि पोरबंदर में महात्मा गांधी की जो माँ थी, वहाँ कबीर साहब के स्थान है आज भी। कहते हैं वहाँ उस समय कबीर साहब के पथ के महात्मा रहते थे। उनसे उनकी माता जी का बड़ा ही सौहार्दपूर्ण दर्शन सत्संग का अवसर प्राप्त करते थे। तो कहीं न कहीं से महात्मा गांधी के जीवन यात्रा में भी कबीर साहब की सत्य और अहिंसा का प्रवेश हुआ है। आज जो समस्याएं हैं मानव की, और हमेशा समस्या मानव की ही होती है। पशु पक्षी कीट पतंग इसकी समस्याएं नहीं होती है। न उस काल में इसकी समस्या रही है, न आज इसकी समस्या है। समस्या केवल मानव की रही है। और मनुष्य को ही संदेश दिया जाता है। मनुष्य के लिए ही सुधार, शिक्षा, व्यवस्था सबका आयोजन किया जाता है। सदगुरु कबीर साहब आज भी वो एक ऐसे व्यक्तित्व हैं, ऐसे प्रकाश हैं जिसको हर कोण से तुम देखोगे, हर रास्ते से देखोगे तो तुम्हें साहेब दिखाई पड़ेंगे। लेकिन उसको देखने के लिए भय से मुक्त अवस्था चाहिए। इसलिए साहेब कहते हैं, निर्विकार निर्भय तू ही और सकल भय माए, सब पर तेरी साहिबी और तुम पर साहिब ना। जिस दिन तुम निर्विकार होते हो, कोई विकार नहीं है जीवन में। विकार नहीं होना ही निर्भय होने का शर्त है। यदि विकार जीवन में है तो हमें भय होता है, हमें डर होता है। तो साहब कहते हैं जिस दिन आप निर्विकार होते हो, विकारों से मुक्त होते हो, आप निर्भय हो जाते हो, फिर कोई किसी का डर नहीं है। और इसीलिए उस काल में, उस समाज में साहेब निर्भय थे। तभी तो उन्होंने कहा, बड़े बड़े बादशाह, बड़े बड़े पंडित, बड़े बड़े पुरोहित जब साहेब की वाणी सुनते, साहेब के उपदेश सुनते, तो बड़े विचलित हो जाते थे। उस अवस्था में भी साहेब निर्भय थे, उसे कोई भय नहीं था। उसने कभी कोई बॉडीगार्ड नहीं रखा। लोगों ने पत्थर मारा, लोगों ने जंजीर बांध दी, लोगों ने क्या क्या कर दिया, लेकिन साहेब ने उसको फूल तक नहीं मारा, फूल का भी प्रतिरोध नहीं किया। इसलिए साहेब कहते हैं, पंडित से बोलिए हितकारी, मूर्ख से रहिए जखमारी। जो पंडित है, ज्ञानी है, उससे दो चार चर्चा हो सकती है, लेकिन जो मूर्ख है उससे चर्चा नहीं हो सकती। तो ये तमाम मानव मूल्यों को सदगुरु कबीर साहब ने स्थापित किया। और मजहब से ऊपर उठकर, जाति से ऊपर उठकर, वर्ण से ऊपर उठकर सदगुरु कबीर साहब ने मानव मूल्य की स्थापना की। इसीलिए वो आज प्रासंगिक है। उनकी दृष्टि थी, तू कहता कागज की लेखी, मैं कहता आंखन की देखी, तेरा मेरा मनवा कैसे हो। तुम कागज की लिखी लिखाई बात करते हो, मैं तो आंख से देख रहा हूं ना, मैं तो जन जन को आंख से देख रहा हूं। कहां बादशाह को भी आंख से देखता हूं, और कहां जमीन पर जीवन यापन कर ले, सहज सरल गांव गली में जीवन यापन करने वाले उस मनुष्य को भी देखता हूं। और इस पीड़ा को, इस दर्द को वही समझ सकते हैं जिसका हृदय उस परम तत्व से लबालब भरा है। उसमें प्रेम है, उसमें दया है, उसमें करुणा है, उसमें त्याग है। यही धन है। और इस धन के धनी सदगुरु कबीर साहब थे, और इस धन के धनी महात्मा गांधी भी थे। उसमें त्याग, करुणा, प्रेम, अहिंसा सब कुछ था। आज हम जिस रास्ते पर हैं, सामाजिक रास्ते पर हैं, व्यवहारिक रास्ते पर हैं, हमें भी अपने उत्तरदायित्व को इसी तरह निभाना है। और सदगुरु कबीर साहब ने उन सबके लिए एक संदेश दिया, कबीर गर्व न कीजिए, रंक न हंसिए कोई, अजहू नाव समुद्र में न जाने क्या हो। दुर्बल को न सताइए, जाकी मोटी हाय, मुए खाल के श्वास से लोह भस्म हो जाए। ये क्यों कहा साहब ने? क्योंकि वो समाज में ऐसा साहब देखते थे, दिखाई पड़ता था। उस समाज में ऐसी परिस्थितियां पैदा होती थी, मनुष्य मनुष्य से द्वेष करता था, लड़ाइयां होती थी, झगड़े होते थे, वर्ण व्यवस्था की दूरियां थी। ऐसे समय में साहब ने कहा, गर्व मत करो, अभिमान मत, किसी चीज का अभिमान मत करो, न धन का अभिमान करो, न पद का अभिमान करो, न किसी का अभिमान करने की जरूरत नहीं। सबकी नाव समुद्र में, सबकी नाव समुद्र में है, मतलब संसार में तो है ही ना। सबके नाव संसार में है, सब क्यों में है? 2 दिन के लिए इस जीवन यात्रा में हम आते हैं, हंसकर, प्रेम कर, दूसरे को सहयोग कर यदि हम जीवन जीते हैं तो यही जीवन कि सुगंधी और खुशबू इस धरती पर रहेगी, बाकी कोई धरती पर नहीं रहता। यदि हमारी जीवन यात्रा से, मनुष्य की जीवन यात्रा से सुगंधी नहीं फैल पाई, फिर दूसरे की जीवन यात्रा, फिर पशु पक्षी की जीवन यात्रा और फिर हमारी जीवन यात्रा में क्या अंतर रह गया? कम से कम हम मानव हैं, मनुष्य के जीवन यात्रा से सुगंधी बाहर आनी चाहिए, प्रेम बाहर आना चाहिए, सद्भाव बाहर आना चाहिए। और इसी मूल्य की रक्षा करने के लिए साहेब विचरण किए। कहाँ? देश विदेश से हों फिरा, गली गली का ठौर, ऐसा जीरा ना मिला लेटा फटक पछो। आज भी 600 साल पहले की बात, सदगुरु कबीर साहब कोई एक जगह बैठे नहीं थे कि कलम कागज लिख करके वो कविता कर दिए। साहित्यकार लोग कहते हैं कि वो कवि नहीं थे, उनका कविता करना उद्देश्य नहीं था। साहित्यकार ये समझ ही नहीं पा रहे हैं कि उनका कोई कविता करना उद्देश्य नहीं था। कवि उसको कहते हैं जो किसी काव्य को मन में बैठाता है और उसके बाद उसकी रचना करता है, उसको कवि कहा जाता है। कबीर साहब के ऐसे कोई रचना नहीं है। कबीर साहब बहते हुए जल की तरह हैं। बहता हुआ जल जिधर भी जाता है उधर वो शीतलता प्रदान करता है। कबीर साहब की वाणी भी बहती हुई जल की धारा थी। वो एक जगह बैठ करके थोड़े कोई कुछ कहते थे, वो तो जाते थे, देखते थे, जैसा अवसर होता था वैसे उनकी वाणी के प्रवाह निकलती थी। इसलिए वो कहते ना, तुम कहाँ से मुझे कवि मान बैठे, कहाँ से मुझे साहित्यकार मान बैठे। मैं तो मसी कागज नहीं छुआ, मसी कागज छुआ नहीं, कलम गहो नहीं हाथ, चार युग की महात्म कबीर मुख ही जनाई बात। मेरा कोई उद्देश्य नहीं है कि मैं कागज से ही लिख दूं, पेन से ही लिख दूं और ये धरोहर तुम्हें दूं, ऐसा मेरा कोई उद्देश्य नहीं। मैं तो बहता हुआ जल हूं। इसीलिए संतों के लिए साहब कहा, वृक्ष कबहु नहीं फल बके, नदी न संचय नीर, और परमारत के कारणे संतन धरा शरीर। संत का आगमन ही परमार्थ के लिए होता है। लेकिन उसको तुम क्यों बांध रहे हो, क्यों सीमा में बांध रहे हो? कोई समाज सुधारक कह रहा है, कोई कवि कह रहा है, कोई साहित्यकार, इससे तो सबसे ऊपर थे साहब, सभी साहित्यों से ऊपर थे। लेकिन इसको जब आप समझ सकते हैं, जान सकते हैं, तो बहती हुई जल की धारा का स्वाद आपको मिलेगा। और यदि नहीं इसको जानते हैं तो फिर तो कुएं का जल पीना ही पड़ेगा, तालाब का जल पीना ही पड़ेगा। साहब तो बहते हुए जल की धारा है। वो खुद कहते हैं, देश विदेश से हों फिरा, मैं तो देश विदेश गली गली भ्रमण ही तो किया। मैं उसको जगाने के लिए आया, उसको बताने के लिए आया जिसे मैंने महसूस किया, जिसे मैंने महसूस किया। कबीर साहब की बड़ी प्यारी स्टोरी है। कहते हैं काशी में साहब आए और जब अपना अंतिम समय हुआ तो मगर चले गए। तमाम मान्यताएं रही, काशी में मरने से मुक्ति होती है और मगर में मरने से मुक्ति नहीं होती। साहब कहते हैं मुक्ति का संबंध यदि काशी से है तो ट्रिनिडाड वाले कैसे मुक्त होंगे? हैं? यदि आपको क्वेश्चन कर दे कोई कि भाई जब काशी में मरने से मुक्ति है तो ट्रिनिडाड वालों का क्या होगा? इन सबको काशी ले चलो तभी तो मुक्ति होगी। यहां तो मुक्ति लिखी ही नहीं है। ये केवल कबीर साहब की देन है कि ट्रिनिडाड में भी मुक्ति होगी। ये किसकी देन है? ये एकमात्र कबीर साहब की देन है कि ट्रिनिडाड में भी मुक्ति होगी, तभी तो वो मगर चले गए। मुक्ति कहीं भी होगी। मुक्ति की जो सीढ़ी है वो कैसे है? मुक्ति की सीढ़ी होती है पवित्रता से, मुक्ति की सीढ़ी होती है सुमरन और साधन से। सब जो गांठ है, जो वजन है जीवन का, जो गांठ है, मत बांध गठरिया अपयस की। अपयस की गठरी को बांध कर मत जाओ, ये इतना वजन है कि आगे यात्रा नहीं हो सकती। मुक्ति यहाँ है। मुक्ति न कोई काशी में है और न कोई मगहर में है। मुक्ति है उस पथ पर जिस पथ पर हमारी गांठें उतर जाती, हमारा वजन उतर जाता है। और जीवन में क्या है? जीवन में यही मूल्यवान है कि हम अपने वजन को उतारें। वजन कहाँ से चढ़ रहा है, कहाँ से हम वजन हो जा रहे हैं? धीरे धीरे जैसे जैसे शनै शनै आप अपनी सूचिता से, पवित्रता से, साधन से, अनुभव से इससे मुक्त होते हैं, उतना ही नजदीक ये मुक्ति की सीढ़ी के लिए तुम्हें वहां नहीं जाना पड़ता है, सीढ़ी इधर आती। ये आत्मबल दिया है तुमको, ये आत्मसम्मान दिया है। वो हर नीचे बैठे हुए आदमी को भी और सिंहासन में बैठे हुए आदमी को भी एक ताकत यदि किसी ने दिया है तो वो सदगुरु कबीर साहब ने दिया। उन वाणियों में इतनी ताकत है, उनके उपदेशों में इतना पावर है कि हम उसको अनुभव करें। महात्मा गांधी सांस्कृतिक सहयोग के इस पवित्र हाल में बैठकर हम आप सबके बीच कबीर साहेब और महात्मा गांधी के जो जीवन दर्शन के बहुत मूल्यवान संदेश है उसको थोड़ा सा आपके बीच रखे। आप सबने यहाँ मुझे बुलाकर स्वागत किया, सम्मान किया, मेरी वाणियों को आपने सुना, इसके लिए ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। सदगुरु की कृपा आप सब पर बनी रहे। सदगुरु कबीर साहेब की बंदगी साहेब, बंदगी साहेब, बंदगी साहेब।
Hajur Sahib, words cannot express our deepest gratitude for your enlightened words of wisdom. For some of us who did not understand the Hindi, at this junction we like to call on Mahant Shri to translate the message by Hajur Sahib.
Thank you very much. So, Chairman, Bangi Sahibs, all of you. I am really privileged to be able to attempt a humble translation of what Panth Hajur Ardhnaam Sahib has just given in his message. First of all, acknowledging all of you who have accepted the invitation of the Satya Kabir Nidhi, also the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation, to attend this special evening, cultural evening here. He acknowledges all the Mahants, all the distinguished guests, all the musicians, artists who have, with their sweet voice and also melodious music, been able to entertain all of you. Also, many devotees who have come from close and far. Hajur Sahib extends his acknowledgement. Hajur Sahib feels that there's a very special connection between him and Trinidad because India is your ancestors' land, your forefathers' land from where he hails. So there are many similarities between Indians and you Trinidadians here. We are both Indians and Trinidadians on a life journey. And in this life journey, we have both countries, India and Trinidad, have marked a milestone this year. Trinidad has celebrated its 60th independence anniversary, and India has celebrated its 75th independence anniversary. Lots of wishes from Hajur Sahib to all Trinidadians and Indians. As we gather today in this sacred place, which we call the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation in this hall, Hajur Sahib wanted to extend a very warm welcome to all of you and also explain how Sadhguru Kabir Sahib's teachings are as relevant to us today as they were 600 years back. Sadhguru Kabir Sahib came at a time when conflicts were rampant in India, at a time when there were lots of social degeneration, and he was able to powerfully redirect people on the right path, show them the right path. There are some teachings which the whole world needs, regardless of language barriers. In other words, even people who would not understand Hindi, the values contained in those teachings of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib do not lose their importance. In the same way, Mahatma Gandhi also had a difficult time when he was in India, at the time that he was in India, to be able to put forward his ideas. 600 years ago, Sadhguru Kabir Sahib was studying how people were conducting themselves, behaving themselves, what were their approach, how the society was behaving itself. And he was trying to look at all those in very great detail. In the same way, Mahatma Gandhi also had to face such conflicts, but how he was able to overcome his challenges was by drawing from his inner strength, and his message was also one of truth and non-violence, in the same way as Sadhguru Kabir Sahib, more than 600 years ago, was propagating truth and non-violence. What is truth? Hajur Sahib says that truth is not something that is mine or is yours. It's not something that we can confine in a specific place. Truth is something for everyone. We all have a right to know what the truth is, to live the truth, to tell the truth. But it seems that in the society, many people are hurt when they hear the truth. Saach kahe, jag marne aaye, jhoot patiyaaye. Sadhguru Kabir Sahib, in one of his teachings, said that when I tell the truth to people, they want to come and beat me. But if I tell them lies, they will readily accept it. They will believe in it. Hajur Sahib tells us that if we do not have the power, or we do not have the strength to accept what the truth is, then we are living a fake life. Only those who are brave enough to listen to the truth are the ones who are really living their life. So to understand Sadhguru Kabir Sahib, it's not a given for everyone. We need to have lots of strength, and most importantly, we have to be fearless, because to accept his sayings, his words, which were only and only truth, we have to be brave. When we are able to listen to Sadhguru Kabir Sahib and accept his teachings, we will be transformed. We can transform ourselves. We can redirect ourselves. In other words, move away from the mundane and go towards the eternal. And only if we are able to redirect ourselves will our state also change. In other words, the disturbed state that we are because of all the challenges in the world which tend to pull us down, we can change that only when we are able to redirect ourselves by accepting what the truth is. Mahatma Gandhi was very much influenced by Sadhguru Kabir Sahib's teachings. He was born in Porbandar in India, and it is known that his mother was a staunch follower of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib. She was very close to one of the sons of the Kabir Panth movement. Definitely through that, the influence of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib would have touched Mahatma Gandhi. The problems that we face in this world is ours, is for mankind. And whenever messages are given, teachings are given, they are given for mankind to redress themselves. Messages are not given to animals, to birds, to fish. In other words, we are the one who have to take those messages in. We should not ignore them. Sant Kabir Sahib, even today, is such a figure that from any angle you want to see him, you will find truth in his sayings. But for that, once again, we have to be fearless. Nirvikar nirbhay tuhi aur sakal bhay mahi. Sahib tells us in the Sanyapat that only if we are nirvikar and nirbhay, only if we are fearless, if we are able to detach ourselves from the material, then only we will be able to walk on that path that he prescribed for us. There are many people who are disturbed by Sadhguru Kabir Sahib's words because they do not want to listen to the truth. But he continued to fearlessly spread his words, and he did not need any bodyguards. He was fearless. He did not need anybody to escort him wherever he was going, whether he was addressing pandits or he was addressing kings, emperors, or even the laymen. He was openly speaking out what he wanted to preach. Sahib also tells us that it is better you discuss with somebody who is knowledgeable, who is learned, than you waste your time talking to somebody who cannot understand what you're saying. But regardless of that, he was giving his teachings regardless of people's caste, creed, race, or communal appurtenances. He was there to establish what we call human values. And how he did that, he himself said that he was talking from his own experience. Tu kahta hai kagaz ki lekhi, main kahta aakhan dekhi. In other words, what he experienced, what he knew is what he was taking. He did not support himself or rely on books. Once again, the conflicts or the afflictions rather that we are touched by in this world can be solved, can be resolved by love, compassion, mercy, and detachment. And these qualities we can see both in Sant Kabir Sahib and Mahatma Gandhi. It is a wealth of qualities that they both had. We are all living a mundane life, but we have to know that we also have to fulfill our responsibility. Sant Kabir Sahib in another Sakhi said that, Kabir garv na kijiye, said that please do not be arrogant, do not be too proud of whatever you think you have achieved, whether it's position or name, fame, or whatever. Because we are all in that worldly ocean. Our boat is in the worldly ocean. And we don't know when our boat may sink. Durbal ko na sataiye, jaki moti hai. In this Sakhi, Sant Kabir Sahib tells us that do not harass the weak, because you don't know their curse may be very damaging to you. Just like when the person who deals with iron, he uses a kind of a thing to put air, to flow air, to melt the iron. That does not have life. Lifelessly, they generate the air. In the same way, if we think that the weak does not have the power to destroy us, to attack us, we are wrong. The goals that we have in life, we have to understand that this life is temporary. If we live well, laugh, love, support each other, then we will have fulfilled our mission by coming in this world. Then only we would have understood why we were sent in this world as a human being, not as any other living being. If we don't do that, then what would be the difference between us and other animals? We have the responsibility of spreading love and truthfulness in the society. Sadhguru Kabir Sahib preached all over the world that this is what we have to do. And he himself wandered all over. He was not just staying in one place to preach. He was going all over. Desh Videsh Ja Phira. Everywhere he was going. And many people take him to be a poet. Many people see him from a literary angle. But we know that his objective was not to be a poet. His objective was not to write poetry. He is like flowing water. Sadhguru Sahib tells us that he is like flowing water. Wherever he go, he can touch people. But if people would take him to be a poet, social reformer, or political figure, or any other form, they would be wrong. Sahib himself says that he never touched pen or paper. That was not his objective, to go and write poetry. He wanted to tell people whatever was coming through him, through his experience. So that's why we say that he was like flowing water. Wherever he was going, he was just touching people. If we don't drink from flowing water, then what's going to happen? We have to depend on the borehole water, which is stagnant water, or the pond's water, which is not necessarily pure water. Sahib also gave us a very powerful message when he said that just like trees do not eat their own fruits, rivers do not drink their own water, saintly people also have taken birth in this world for the welfare of others. And this is how he also wanted to touch people for the welfare of other people. There's a famous story, not story, a real thing that happened in Kabir Sahib's time, which he did. As much as he was living in Kashi, he decided to go for his last days to spend his time in Maghar. And it is believed that Kashi is the only place where if you leave this mortal body, you will be able to liberate yourself, attain liberation. But if that's the case, then what happens to people who are in Trinidad? We are not in Kashi, so does that mean that Trinidadians do not have access to liberation? They cannot attain liberation? This is a myth that Sadhguru Kabir Sahib wanted to destroy. Liberation is like a ladder. We have to be able to purify us so that we can attain liberation through practice and through meditation, through spiritual practice. If we do those, the ladder to go up to attain liberation will come by itself. We don't have to look for it. We just have to be pure and to practice our spirituality. Sahib also tells us that if we overburden ourselves with the mundane life, we will never be able to attain liberation. We will be heavy with all the mundane of the material world. We have to offload all those burdens. That is also something that we do through spiritual practice. Then only we can attain liberation. So the words of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib in the end Hajur Sahib is saying are very powerful, but we have to reflect on them. Today, as we have all gathered in this sacred hall of the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation, let us all reflect on both Mahatma Gandhi's teachings and Sadhguru Kabir Sahib's teachings, and let us implement those in our life so that we can succeed for the purpose for which we have come in this life. Hajur Sahib, in the end, thank you all for having accommodated him, welcomed him, and shown so much of love and affection during his 6th visit in Trinidad. He showers his blessings to all of you, and he hopes that you all be successful on your spiritual path. Boliye Sadhguru Kabir Sahib ki jai, Panth Hajur Ardhnaam Sahib ki jai, Bandagi Sahib. Thank you.
Mahanji Sahib, we say thank you very much, and we are so grateful for your presence. Through you, we are able to absorb Hajur Sahib's message to the fullest. So switching gears a bit, at this junction, we would like to make a small presentation to Hajur Sahib and some of our special invited guests who have taken the time to be with us this evening. I now request Sharmila Das and Ankit Das to make this presentation. And note, as this is completed, our wonderful volunteers will immediately present our special guests seated at the head table. So we now ask our volunteers to present at the head table as well. Say thank you to all of our volunteers. So we are just about to bring the curtain down on this program. And our final item will be our appreciation and closing prayer. And we want to invite President of the Satya Kabir Nidhi, Shri Mahant Keet Prem Das, to conclude the program with some announcements and refreshment. Thank you, Sahib.
Bandagi Sahib, Namaskar, Assalamu Alaikum, pleasant good evening. I will try to say a few words in Hindi. I am in ABC stage. Guru Govind dau khare, kaake lagu paए, balihari Guru aapne जिन गोविंद दियो बताए. पंथ श्री 1008 हजूर अर्धनाम साहिब, सतगुरु कबीर प्राकट्य धाम लहरताड़ा वाराणसी और सतगुरु कबीर धर्म स्थान खरसिया छत्तीसगढ़ के नादवंश आचार्य, कृपया हमारी कृतज्ञता स्वीकार करें। सद्गुरु कबीर साहिब की शिक्षाओं को हमारे साथ बांटने के लिए आपने 15,000 किलोमीटर से अधिक की यात्रा की है। आपने अपने आश्रम का आरंभ त्याग कर आए। आपने हमारे भारतीय बहनों और भाइयों को छोड़कर ट्रिनिडाद आए। आप हमारे लिए सत्य, अहिंसा और प्रेम का संदेश लेकर आए। साहिब जी, आपकी यात्रा सफल रही। हमारा जीवन समृद्ध हुआ है। आपको जितना भी धन्यवाद दे उतना कम है। और संत संतोष कुमार जी, कृपया आप भी हमारा हार्दिक धन्यवाद स्वीकार करें। इस शुभ यात्रा में हजूर साहिब के साथ आने के लिए, हमारे साथ अपने ज्ञान और अनुभव को बांटने के लिए धन्यवाद। So I'll try to say in English what I just tried to do in Hindi. Panth Shri 1008 Hajur Ardhnaam Sahib, Nadvansh Acharya of Sadguru Kabir Prakatya Dham, Lahartara, Varanasi, with headquarters in Kharsia, Chhattisgarh. Please accept our humble gratitude. You have traveled more than 15,000 kilometers to share the teachings of Sadguru Kabir Sahib with us. You left the comfort of your ashram. You left our sisters and brothers in Bharat. You brought the message of truth, devotion, and love. Sahib ji, your yatra has been successful. Our lives have been enriched. We cannot thank you enough. And Sant Santosh Kumar ji, please also accept our sincere thanks for accompanying Hajur Sahib on this auspicious journey. Thank you for sharing with us your knowledge and experience. We hope that this journey is the first of many to come. This is some little extra English. And we would like you to take back to Varanasi our appreciation and desire for others to accompany Hajur Sahib in the coming years. Please join me in appreciation of their love, sacrifice, knowledge, and the privilege of their presence with us. I had a long appreciation list, so I'll cut short the message, and just mention a few names who have made this function and this event a success in my eyes. Shri Raju Sharma ji, Charge Day Affairs. Please convey our sincere appreciation to the High Commissioner for India and to the Indian Council for Cultural Relations for providing this wonderful facility and for their continuing support. We are extremely happy that you could take the time to be present this evening to represent the High Commission and the Council and to support us. Thank you very much. Also, this event could not have taken place were it not for the advice, foresight, and support of the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Cultural Cooperation. On behalf of the members, supporters, and affiliates of the Satya Kabir Nidhi, I wish to express our very sincere appreciation for the collaboration between our organizations and for the provision of these facilities. Madam Director, Srimati Ramya Ajay ji, thank you so much. we have had such a successful program with the assistance of Shri Dhanraj Singh and Ms. Asha Maraj. Although I didn't see her this evening, but she was helping us all along. You provided invaluable suggestions and technical support for us to accommodate Hajjur Sahib here. Dr. Brahma Bhatt Ji, your renditions of the 2 compositions of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib were exhilarating, meaningful, and superb. Thank you for exposing us to your beautiful renditions. Together with the team of Narendra Maharaj, Arvind Bhatt, Rana, and Ajnish Mohib. Your team lifted our spirits so we could be in the mood to listen to the message presented by Hajur Sahib. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the members of the technical team too, Shri Kuldeep Ganga Prasad and his team, for their selfless and invaluable support today. Everyone we interacted with at this institute was courteous and helpful. We wish to commend the management of the institute for such a wonderful environment. The people, the facility, and the collaboration. Thank you very much. We had some items on stage, and I'd like just to mention the names of the people. The youth, Pooja, Sunil, Amrita, Akshay, and Ankit. The children, Shriya, Ashish, Payal, and Jia, and their parents. Let's give a round of applause to all of these. Thank you so much. Suzanne Mohibji, the rendition of a song of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib in dance of this caliber is a rare experience for us. We want to express our appreciation and thanks for providing us with such an opportunity. Moko kaha dhunro bande in dance. We hope that we can have many more of these from yourself and your company in the years to come. I'd like to take just a moment to mention those people who helped prepare the place. Sudesh, Naresh, Mahadev Ramlal, Mandhardev, Sister Karande, Sister Shamin, Anuj, Sister Devika, Sister Sharon, Devendra, Anuj. All of these people helped put this together today. Thank you very much for your kind assistance. I'd like to also thank the representatives from the various organizations for taking the time to come and be with us this evening. The last 2 years or 3 years have been a very trying time for us, and this visit has brought us together in a way that I think we hadn't been before. So, Gita Vahini ji, Srimati Kala Das ji, Sri Hari Prasad Maharaj, Sri Surajdev Mangaru, Sri Dinesh Das. Thank you all for taking the time to come to be with us. And we hope that the message of Hajur Sahib would have resounded somewhere in your hearts, and we would leave this evening with something of value to carry on. Thank you all very much for coming. To all our friends and admirers of Sadhguru Kabir Sahib, we hope you have found this program enlightening, reassuring, and enriching, that you got something that you can take with you and will bring you closer to your goal. The one thing I am sure you appreciate, like me, is the support of our visitors from Toronto. Mahant Shri Jai Paramhans and Srimati Rekha Jagesar have contributed in no small way to this event and many others over the past nearly 2 weeks. We are deeply indebted to you both for being with us today. Rekha ji, thank you very much for your rendition of one of Kabir Sahib's songs. And Jay Sahib, thank you very much for the translation of Hajur Sahib's talks today. Without your precision and completeness, it would be easy for us to misunderstand the lofty ideals presented by Hajur Sahib. So, please forgive me if I left out anyone. I know there's many hard workers who have contributed in many different ways. And my brain is a little, I guess over the years, over the last 2 or 3 years, a little bit affected by COVID. So please forgive me. Now I'd like to ask that you join me in a very short closing prayer. You can just sit where you are and close your eyes. Namo Shabd Rupi Sohe Jagt Karta Daya Pal Swami Sabai Kasht Harta Vishalam Kripalam Dhani Antrayami Videham Swarupam Kaviram Namami Videham Swarupam Videham Swarupam Videham Swarupam. Namaskar. Thank you very much. Light refreshments are prepared. Please have a safe journey or your onward journey.